Today I have Free Fire, and I'm very excited because it is not a sequel and it is not a remake, which is woohoo! It's already, good in my book. So we've actually been doing the Mohawk movie review for a year, and this is a movie from the same studio. So it's kind of like a full circle thing for me. So Free Fire is starring Brie Larson, Armie Hammer, Cillian Murphy, and Sharlto Copley. And it's from English director Ben Wheatley, who did a movie called High Rise that had Tom Hiddleston last year, and he's done a bunch of sort of indie stuff. A Field in England is really good. And it takes place in the 1970s in Boston, and it's about an arms deal that goes wrong. So it's interesting because it takes place pretty much in one location the entire time. They're in this warehouse, and it's like super sketchy and run down, and they really don't spend a lot of time outside of it for like the entire duration of the film, which is always interesting to have a constraint. As far as character development goes, this isn't going to be like a huge emotional journey film. You're not going to see like sweeping changes in these characters over the course of the film just because it's so set to like a, not real time, but like a very distinct moment that it's capturing. It's it's like a silly, fun, kind of violent romp. People keep comparing it to Tarantino and Reservoir Dogs, which is, I think, actually a little unfair. Yes, it's, very shootout-y. Yes, it's got sort of a space constraint, but I don't actually think that's what he was trying to do. And it's not like Tarantino gets to have the monopoly on that, not genre even, but like that sort of setup.
When you mentioned, though, that it was in one location, I thought of Hateful Eight.
Yes, me too.
Hateful Eight, okay. So, Tarantino does it, but so does this guy. Like, that doesn't mean that it's just a Tarantino thing. Yeah. There are plenty of Room from the same studio who did this is also a movie that takes place 90% in one room, So it's not just a conceit or a constraint that is Tarantino-esque. I do get that there are easy comparisons, but to the director's credit, I don't think that's actually what he was going for. The pacing of this movie is a little bit nonstop once it gets going, and I'm going to overshare with everyone because I feel like I've earned that part. I had to go to the bathroom at some point during the movie, right? Like, I had to go pee, and I was like, I've seen so many movies that usually I'm pretty good about knowing, like, okay, there's going to be a lull, and this is when I can, like, run and not miss a huge plot point. There were no lulls. So at a certain point, I was just like, I'm just going to run out to the bathroom because I give up. Okay, more people got shot while I was gone. Okay, I didn't miss too much. So, it's a little nonstop. Go to the bathroom before. That's my advice to you on this one. It's probably my biggest kind of criticism of it is that there's nothing super pivotal, like emotionally. It's all very circumstantial. And so you do kind of, at a certain point, you're like, well, I'm invested in the whole scenario, but I don't know if I'm particularly invested in one person surviving or one person not. Right. I think it's kind of a B-movie plot, but it has an A-level cast, and that really saved it for me because it was so much fun to watch them kind of banter, and I guess there was a fair amount of improv on set. And so I really enjoyed watching them, and they're all great actors, so seeing them get to kind of do their thing in this environment was really fun.
Literally, Cillian Murphy is my favorite actor of all time.
He's really good at this. Brie Larson is one of my favorite actresses. Armie Hammer was really funny in it, which is kind of unexpected.
Who is Armie Hammer? That sounds like a wrestler.
Armie Hammer. No, but there's Arm and Hammer.
Yes, which his parents were probably pretty mean when they named him that. I'm sure his name is something else. Armie Hammer is an actor. He was in The Social Network. He played the Winklevoss twins, so he played both of them. He's this like super built 6 foot something white dude who's just like looks so basic, but he was so funny in this that I was just like, all right, Armie. He was also in the Lone Ranger remake, which was But and I love Sharlto Copley, who's in it. He was in District 9 and Elysium, and he's so funny. He's South African, and he plays a South African in this, so it was just like he went wild with it.
I love District 9.
District 9 is such an amazing movie. So again, it's like all these great performances. They all played really well together. So I really enjoyed that part of the movie. It's only 90 minutes. Any longer and it would have been too much, but I think it was just the right amount of like, hey, fun, original-ish, we'll go with. Exciting film to go see. So definitely rated R, not for kids.
Right.
But yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit of higher stakes and maybe some more character development, but overall, because I just had a really good time at it, I'm going to give it 3.7.
Nice.
That's a good rating, though. I think that's really good. 3.7 sounds good to me, and I think I'm definitely going to check it out. Dana, what else do you have for us today?
Nothing.
Oh, my God. That is a shock for me.
I mean,
shock, horror.
You might want to pause for a second. I mean, I could do Fate of the Furious, but it's already been out. And it's
all right, yeah. Yeah, unless you can tell us about the behind-the-scenes fight between The Rock and Vin Diesel. The worst actor of all time.
What are you talking about? Vin Diesel is a great actor when he's not when he doesn't have lines. Like, he is one of my favorite voice actors. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding right now. Vin Diesel is the voice of the Iron Giant, and he is so emotive.
Oh, his voice.
By not saying anything. But it's like it's a heartbreaking movie anyway, but he's so good at it, and he's Groot.
I may have to see it because I'm
the Iron Giant, the
animated movie.
thing?
Yeah, so the less Vin Diesel has to say, the better an actor he is. But when he's in those circumstances, I actually think he's a decent actor. However, he also made movies like The Pacifier, which stars Vin Diesel and a duck. So, you get both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Matt, have you seen
it's
either
like
of those?
Kindergarten Cop or something like that. With
That is a great
Kindergarten
movie.
Cop is a great movie. I'm with Arnold.
I like that movie.
But
you
don't compare
ever.
The Pacifier to Kindergarten Cop.
No, I like Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's the same premise, but I think that the Vin is great big bore.
The Vin ain't in.
I ain't into the Vin.
The Vin ain't
I
in.
love you.